What's up, y'all? It's Lisa Blone, and I'm back with another live video. Thank you guys for tapping into Blone Media. Let's go ahead and get into this, you guys. I'm bringing you guys the latest on these social media streets. All right. I want to give you guys an update on Nancy Guthrie and everything that is going on. Okay. A lot has happened, you guys. And what we are waiting on is an announcement that they're going to be making sometime today. Now, I can't really say when, but this is what we're waiting for. So I'm going to get you guys caught up and let you know everything that I know. And then we're going to actually go to the source, y'all. Okay. But it's a lot. It's a lot that has been unfolding with this, you guys. And let me just come up here. Now, just to get you guys caught up a little bit on what's going on. Um, it's wild, okay? And I'm starting this live with this energy because I believe that Nancy is still out there and alive. Yeah, I said it. Because people keep, some people are out there saying, well, there's no proof of life. Like they have not shown us any proof of life. But let's be very clear, there is no proof otherwise either, right? So we're choosing faith. We're choosing positive thinking. Now, let's go ahead and break this down, you guys. Hold on. Now, as you guys know, 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie, the mother of Savannah Guthrie, was reported missing from her Catalina Foothills home in Tucson, Arizona on February the 1st. Now, authorities have been treating this as an abduction case. And last night, around 10 p.m., things escalated fast, y'all. Okay? Hold on. Let me go ahead and bring this up. Things escalated fast, you guys. All right? Now I'm going to bring up this video. And let me just let you guys know that the SWAT team swarmed an area connected with the investigation. Let me repeat that, SWAT. We're not talking about routine questioning. We're talking like tactical, like. Now, the reports are saying that 2 people were detained at a home, and then there was a separate traffic stop, and another person was detained. Okay. Now, here's where it gets interesting because the chatter suggested that it may have been 2 men and their mother, or possibly their mother in law. I don't know. I don't know how true that is, but we are going to get into it because 3 people have been detained. Okay. Now, they're reportedly related, and I'm going to pull up the video. Now, we're still waiting on a confirmation on exact relationships and what's going on, but I'm going to show you what we have so far, okay? 2 detained at a residence, 1 detained at a traffic stop. That's coordinated. That's intentional. And they're narrowing in on something, okay? Now, there was some talk that, and it was circulating that the glove was found, there was a glove found inside Nancy's home. That turns out not to be true, okay? And that's major. They did find DNA, okay? They did find DNA in the home that's not related to Nancy or anybody that she knows, okay? But I just wanted to clear that up, okay? Let me see. You know, no. And that's the thing with misinformation when it starts to, circulate in a case like this, it creates like confusion. You know what I'm saying? But we're going to go to the source. All right. Now, let me go ahead and pull up this video and kind of get into this. But like I said, we are waiting an announcement. First of all, let me make sure you guys can hear me. Okay. Now, authorities initially stated that there would not be no press conferences, but then the sheriff was reportedly giving interviews. Okay, so he did speak, but we're waiting for, like, I guess it's, what is it, a press conference, an announcement? Um, that's what we're waiting on. Okay, and we're getting like mixed messages with that. So let me just show you what is out there. Okay, because transparency matters in cases like this, especially when the public is on edge, the family members. My heart just goes out to the family members, you guys, because of course they're waiting for answers. You know what I'm saying? And then TMZ received a third note, or is this the fourth note? Right? I think it's the third note that TMZ has received. We'll get into that, y'all. Let me go ahead and pull this video for you guys, okay? Now, I've told you what I've known so far, but now we're going to get into it. And hold on, let me go ahead and pull this up. Mm. All right. Let me pull this up for you guys. We're going to go over to Brian Enton. Let me take this down and make sure you guys can see this. Y'all, this is so sad, right? But I'm hopeful that they're going to find her. Now, let's go ahead and get into this. And this will get us all caught up on what has happened so far. Well, I told you what happened, but now you're going to actually hear somebody who was there, and they're going to tell you what happened, okay?
For the last 3 or 4 hours. I was inside the perimeter because we were following the SWAT team. We got in, and we know that at least one person has been detained. The neighborhood is still all closed down. It's raining out here. It's the first time it's rained since I've been in Tucson for almost 2 weeks. So I'm going to walk you through everything that happened tonight, the latest developments. Is this possibly a break in the case? Everything that I saw. I'm getting into all of it, the latest on the Nancy Guthrie investigation in this episode of Brian Enton Investigates. Hey guys, it has just been an insane 4 or 5 hours in Tucson. There have been so many developments, not only tonight, which right now, if you're watching this, I don't know when you're watching this, it's Friday night. That isn't even, it's so late. It's actually after midnight now when I'm recording this. But the whole day was full of developments in the Nancy Guthrie case, which I'm going to get to in all of them. Let me start with really the breaking news, though. There was a SWAT raid, which I was actually at, which I'll get into the details of in a second. But we know that it is connected to the Nancy Guthrie investigation. They went into a neighborhood about 2 miles from Nancy Guthrie's house in Tucson, and they detained a man and a woman from the house, and they also detained a man from a traffic stop at a Culver's restaurant very close to that house. And I'm told that it's all connected. I'm told that it could be a mother and son who were detained in the house, and maybe the brother at the traffic stop. They're all connected. And the reason I know this is because I'm told by sources that they were waiting to move on the house until the traffic stop happened. And that this is all connected back to the Nancy Guthrie investigation, whether these are just people that they are looking into, whether one of them is someone that they're specifically looking to and they just detained them all for the time being while they question them, I don't know. But 3 people are detained, according to my sources, at least as of when I am making this video. So let me back up a little bit. I knew that something was about to go down this afternoon. The search plane was doing surveillance, and then I found out that the SWAT teams, the Pima County SWAT teams, were going to be preparing for a possible operation tonight. And they've done that before, and nothing has really transpired. But the sense was tonight something was actually going to happen. So I ended up going out to the two locations where I found out that they were staging. They moved from one location to another one very close to the target's house, which again was only 2 miles from Nancy Guthrie's house. They moved in on the house in the neighborhood. It was two big, like Bearcat SWAT trucks. I would say maybe 24 deputies. Everyone was just a lot of armor. I mean, it was very, very, very serious. And I was told they were prepared for, for the worst, really, prepared to have to go in with force. What happened, though, is luckily they didn't have to use any force. When they got to the house, and I was right there, I got into the police perimeter. I don't know how. I think just because me and Mo, you guys know how I am by now. Like we were right there. We had good sources that led us right there. So we got in there before they split her up, and we could tell that they didn't have to use force. The man and the woman surrendered outside of the house, and there was no issue there from what I could tell. And from what my sources are telling me. And at the same exact time, they were able to get a man from the traffic stop who is also connected to the same situation. Again, whether any of this pans out and they are officially, deemed to be part of this Nancy Guthrie investigation, I don't know yet at this point. But I know that this whole operation is
can hear me. I got kicked out. All right, y'all. Let me go ahead and bring this back up for y'all, okay? Green hearts, if y'all can hear me. Green hearts. All right. All right, y'all. So let me go ahead and continue this video. Thank you. All right, y'all. Let me go ahead and bring you guys back to this video, okay?
At a Culver's restaurant very close to that house, and I'm told that it's all connected. I'm told that it could be a mother and son who were detained in the house and maybe the brother at the traffic stop, but they're all connected. And the reason I know this is because I'm told by sources that they were waiting to move on the house until the traffic stop happened. And that this is all connected back to the Nancy Guthrie investigation, whether these are just people that they are looking into, whether one of them is someone that they're specifically looking to and they just detained them all for the time being while they question them. I don't know, but 3 people are detained according to my sources, at least as of when I am making this video. So let me back up a little bit. I knew that something was about to go down this afternoon. The search plane was up, which I was told was doing surveillance. And then I found out that the SWAT teams, the Pima County SWAT teams, were going to be staging, preparing for a possible operation tonight. And they've done that before and nothing has really transpired. But the sense was tonight something was actually going to happen. So I ended up going out to the 2 locations where I found out that they were staging. They moved from one location to another one very close to the target's house, which again was only 2 miles from Nancy Guthrie's house. They moved in on the house in the neighborhood. It was 2 big, like Bearcat SWAT trucks. I would say maybe 24 deputies. Everyone was just a lot of armor. I mean, it was very, very serious. And I was told they were prepared for, for the worst, really, prepared to have to go in with force. What happened, though, is luckily they didn't have to use any force. When they got to the house, and I was right there, I got into the police perimeter. I don't know how. I think just because me and Mo, you guys know how I am by now. Like we were right there. We had good sources that led us right there. So we got in there before they put the police perimeter up, and we could tell that they didn't have to use force. The man and the woman surrendered outside of the house, and there was no issue there from what I could tell. And from what my sources are telling me. And at the same exact time, they were able to get a man from the traffic stop who is also connected to the same situation. Again, whether any of this pans out and they are officially, deemed to be part of this Nancy Guthrie investigation, I don't know yet at this point. But I know that this whole operation is connected to the Nancy Guthrie case. So they pulled them out of the house. Or they came out of the house on their own. I shouldn't say pulled out. And now I know that they are conducting a search warrant at the house, which could take quite some time. Initially, it was mostly Pima County deputies. Then a cavalry of FBI agents showed up. And I mean, like a ton of FBI and evidence response unit. They all came into the neighborhood and showed up. And I was told that they were going to be there like all night long doing evidence collection. So it's a pretty big development. Hopefully it's going to lead to some major progress in the case. Hopefully it's not a similar situation to what we saw a couple nights ago in Rio Rico near the Mexico border. Remember, that was when kind of a similar situation. They went out, detained someone, did a search warrant, and it turns out it seems that had absolutely nothing to do with the case, and they ended up letting the guy go, the guy named Carlos. Remember, I interviewed his mother-in-law a couple nights ago. This did feel, at first it felt similar, but as more and more FBI showed up, it was a bigger scene out here tonight. It felt more significant. That was just the feeling on the ground. So we'll see how this plays out. But it was a wild Friday night. Again, just for me, kind of just going from one SWAT staging location to another, and then ending up in the middle of all this action in this neighborhood and being on the inside of the perimeter. And Mo and I just tried to stay kind of out of the way, and no one really noticed us at first because we were just sitting in our dark car. If you were watching News Nation, I was doing live shots from the dark car. And then eventually one of the deputies saw us and was like, you guys got to get out of here. So, but we were very careful in the beginning not to give the location, not to give the address. I was trying to just report very limited information because I didn't want to interfere with their operation when there were still so many moving parts. And then, of course, when everyone was officially detained, we were able to report more. So that's kind of the latest on the SWAT situation with the house and what happened with them detaining the person from the car, which again all appears to be connected. I'm told that the car was detained somewhere near Culver's fast food restaurant.
Okay, so this is what we have so far, right? And it's impossible to know just how close this is to being over, but they have to be exclusive. You know what I'm saying? Because with the info that they have, if they release it, everything, not only will the public know, but the suspect will know as well. You know what I'm saying? So they can't tell us everything. But, let me go ahead and show you guys because TMZ received a third notice, right? I think it's a third note. And all of this started like 4 p.m., okay, on Friday the 13th, mind you. All right. There was surveillance. There was a lot going on the ground, as you guys can see, and we learned that this is related to the Guthrie case. All right, y'all. Let me go ahead and show y'all this. I think I can just bring it up, but hold on, y'all. I'm going to go to Twitter. Why it's not up? Hold on, y'all. You know what? Let us get the latest first, okay? And then I'm going to take y'all to Twitter, okay? But let me pull this up right quick so y'all can see this. Hold on, y'all. Let me bring it up. All right, you guys. Let's go ahead and get into this since I got y'all All right, so let me make sure you guys can see this. This was last night as well. Range Rover at Culver's sealed with evidence tape, trunk activity hidden by sheet as FBI swarms. Minutes from Nancy Guthrie's SWAT scene and home. Okay? Ransom, chaos, and this lead. So I don't know what was behind this, you guys, but something is going on. Okay? We don't know what they were hiding behind there. It could simply be they just didn't want, you know what I'm saying, anybody to see what they were doing. Or it could be something else. I don't know. Somebody pointed out, look how dirty the windshield is, like it had been sitting. I don't know. Everything seems so mysterious, y'all. This is the car. A gray Range Rover. Is that what this is? Range Rover. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. It's dusty out there, right? It is the desert. Y'all see it though. This is it. This is the car. They impounded this, of course. Is this what they caught the guy in? Because I think they show a picture of him. You know, the traffic stop, they show the guy, the suspect, the man that was in the car. Okay, you guys, that was them approaching the Range Rover. Okay, and ultimately looking in the back of this Range Rover, they covered it so nobody could see anything. So I don't know. I don't know. Now they did have a picture of the suspect in the traffic stop that they took into custody. Where is that? Let's see. All right. Hold on, y'all. We only looking at the recent. I'm hearing chatter that the two in question are possibly Dominic Evans and his mother, who are detained in Nancy Guthrie's abduction just 2 miles from the 84-year-old mom's Tucson, Arizona home, as there's speculations that a male, okay, it's just speculation, y'all. Dominique Evan, who is that? Your friend? Because that's Tomasio Sione right here, ain't it? I don't know, y'all. We are just, you know what I'm saying? I'm just letting y'all see what's out here on these social media streets, y'all. Okay? 22 hours ago. All right, y'all. Pay close attention to the second thing he just pulled out of Nancy Guthrie's mailbox. Is that what I think it is? What is it? I don't know. How can you tell? I don't know, y'all. Has anyone seen this pic anywhere? No idea if this is legitimate. We're not going to really look at that. Everyone says the bandmate Dominique Evans did this to Nancy Guthrie. Who is this person? We don't know, y'all. Now, JLR investigates. He is out on the scene too as well. And he posted this. He said this was found on the side of the road right by where the black glove was found, less than 2 miles from Nancy Guthrie's home. So it looks like some type of delivery. Y'all, you see that? He said this was found on the side of the road right by where the black glove was found. What? Y'all see that, right? That's some type of delivery like tag. Remember they pulled over? Look, I don't know. Remember they pulled over? Wasn't that a delivery driver? Yeah, FBI ain't stupid. FBI ain't stupid, y'all. All this is just hearsay. I just wanted to see. We don't want to really get into the hearsay. What's his name? Hold on, y'all. What's his name? Enton. All right, so let me pull up Brian Enton. That is who we were listening to in that video. We're just going to his Twitter. Let's see, y'all. 16 minutes ago. So this is the latest. The Pima County Sheriff tells local affiliate Cole last night's operation was nothing more than a lead track down that led to a search warrant and no arrest. So this is what he is saying. So they were detained, but they weren't arrested. Well, doesn't detain mean arrested? Okay, so 3 detained. The Range Rover was investigated and then towed away. All right, y'all. So we got that. Let me see something. Let's go to an update now. Let's go over to Fox News and get some tea over there. Some information rather. What did you guys say? What's up, Cuz Wido? Hey, Shantae. JLR is live right now. Yeah, we're going to go over to him. Yeah, I think they're on to something. No arrest. Detained, but he said no arrest. So, I don't know. He's on the scene. But we're about to go over there, y'all. Okay? Hold on. Let me make sure you guys can see this. Okay. You see, I believe strongly that Nancy has been taken to Mexico and the FBI is acting like they don't know that. SMH. Oh my God, they are failing Nancy. Y'all. Let's go ahead and go over to JLR, y'all. See. Is this my history? No. Hold on, y'all. We are going to go to where they are live. I think something might happen today. Let me see, y'all. Okay. All right, you guys, let's tap in to what is going on right now in real time.
If you were sexually abused while at school or school activity as a child, you may be entitled up to 5.
Was someone dead there? Lauren M. 2006 says the authorities are desperate. They need to get anyone. So that's why they do this. Question: is this the perfect crime? Is there such thing as the perfect crime? Dun, dun, dun. The perfect crime. We're going to go down to Nancy's home shortly and set up shop. But who did this? Reporter's walking out of the driveway. I'm at the people's home. They detained. Whose Range Rover was that? That's a great question. Who was that, like, man with, like, a mustache that they had? I don't know if he had a mustache, but I got kind of like a... Who is this guy? Who's this guy that they snatched up? Who is he? No one has been arrested. I mean, who's this guy? Explain the sheets on the Range Rover. Is that Range Rover guy nothing to do with the address on the left? And that's somebody else? Literally all this and just ends up being nothing of nothing? All right, so we're going to head out of here in a few. Just want to remind everyone, this case is not over. Perp still out there. Or perps. I don't know if they're going to come home. I don't know if they'll, you know, they're all leaving. I'm going to go to Nancy's home. Unbelievable. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Roll out. Roll out. Chopper's still circulating up top. This is unbelievable. Neighborhood just got the walkers and everything out there now. Unbelievable. Happy Valentine's Day. Thank you, NLC. All right, leaving the neighborhood. Going back to Nancy's. We're going back to ground zero. Start over. So more people detained, no arrests. Dude, it's going to be crazy when they do the next raid. Who's next? Oh my goodness. Ay, ay, ay. Thank you. We'll wait for the next development. Maybe they'll do more raids today.
All right, y'all. So leave it up to JLR to bring us right up to speed, right? So that is the latest. They were detained, but they were not arrested. Okay. He is just leaving the house of the people who were detained. Excuse me. Right? So this is unfolding like right in front of our eyes. Let's go ahead and see what else we can see, y'all. Hold on. And like I said, it's impossible to know, you know what I'm saying, how close they are, false alarms, gotta follow up on, you know what I'm saying? Like, let me see, y'all. I mean, but they've had thousands and thousands of tips and stuff like that. I know they're not gonna do that for everything, but I don't know, y'all. No arrests. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see who's on. Let's go over to this one right here. Hold on, guys. Let me pull up another YouTuber, 857 Tucson. That is where we're going now. We are now into day 14 of Nancy Guthrie missing. And the Pima County Sheriff say no arrest made. All right. So I definitely have to change my title. I thought they were arrested. I do apologize for that. Well, that's what they were reporting. Okay. Hold on, y'all.
So what we got this morning, keep the conversation going. This is crazy. Right? Crazy.
They basically are looking at JLR.
You. Just you. Building your app. on base 44.
Media's still out here. But thought they had the person, thought this case would be solved. It's not. Now what? Back to the drawing board. I know. Back to the drawing board. Sheriff gonna speak? Another crazy day, folks. Back to the drawing board.
All right, y'all. We might as well go back to JLR because he's watching JLR, right? I thought he might have another, something else going on, Let's go. Here's ABC Live. Let's look at a little bit of this.
Let's bring in ABC News contributor and former FBI agent Brad Garrett. Brad, good morning to you. Thanks for joining us. So we know that there was this flurry of law enforcement activity overnight, but not a lot made public just yet. What do you make of what we know about last night's operation?
So it strikes me that these are two things. They're either tips that have come in, or in reference to the car, did it get picked up on a license plate reader? Did it get picked up on somebody's camera or CCTV? Who knows? But the point being, they must have felt in reference to the car that it had some relevance to, or potential relevance to what has happened. Now, we'll see if that really amounts to anything. The search of the residence, I think people got really excited, and rightly so. I guess I've done this too long. That's pretty routine. Again, probably a tip about something in reference to that house. May not be even directly that the suspect lived there or anything like that, but it has a link to this case. And so they carried it out and then they left. So fairly common behavior in this type of case.
And so, Brad, the DNA that authorities are now analyzing, what will they be looking for?
Well, think about the amount of DNA that's in your house, my house, etc. Workers that were there 6 months ago may have left DNA. But having said that, if they have found DNA that doesn't match any of the regulars, landscapers, family members, etc., into Nancy's house, it puts it in the category of it could be something. If you go to the gloves that they found, now granted, people drop gloves all the time, but what would be important is if a glove DNA matches the DNA they've pulled out of Nancy's house, then they may be onto something. Now, that's assuming that that DNA is in some sort of database that you can actually check it against.
Brad, in Aaron's report, we saw that specific backpack that's sold at Walmart. How could that detail really help people here?
Well, I'm sure Walmart, who cooperates with law enforcement every day, gave them a list of people that have purchased those backpacks. Now, keep in mind, Gio, that if you or I walk into a store and pay cash, we might be on their surveillance camera, but there wouldn't be any paper trail like we charge typically. So that's one aspect. What's the volume of sales of that backpack, and how far do you expand this out? So my guess is they've gone a fair distance outside, maybe Tucson, the obvious stores, if there's more than one in Tucson, to see where the leads go. This is a great example of what minutia you get into in these cases and how time consuming it would be just to potentially run down the backpack.
And Brad, as we noted there, we're almost at the 2-week mark now. How does an investigation like this change as time passes?
Well, I mean, obviously the big concern is Nancy's well-being, but it's a two-track investigation. Obviously, finding her is number one, but number two is you have so many leads in this case. With I don't know that I see anything else dynamically changing. They're going to keep at all of these leads and see if they intersect someplace. In other words, let's just say that the car that they stopped has some relevance in this case, but they don't know what relevance. They get another piece of evidence and then plugs the car into it. So it's almost like a chessboard. And can you concentrate and push the evidence together some way that then points you towards an individual and perhaps a location?
Still so many questions. Brad Garrett, thank you for being with us.
Planning to publish your book? You could reach 3 billion more readers. If you've written a book and you're thinking about publishing it, you have to watch this video. Hi, I'm Lisette from Spines, the fastest growing publishing platform in the United States. If you want to give your book the best shot at success, there are a few things you need to know. The world has opened up. Today, the global book market spans multiple languages and formats, with international readers representing billions of potential customers. Smart authors are publishing in multiple languages and reaching readers all over the world. Most authors start with English, but there are 5 major languages and dozens of international distribution channels where your book can be available. At Spines, we expand your reach globally across 6 languages in different versions, from softcover to audiobooks, in multiple markets, using the most advanced translation technology and top-tier international professionals, all at an unbeatable price. Want to publish your book? Want to hear more details? Leave your info and we'll reach out with a phone call to share all the information right away. Stay tuned.
Sorry about that, y'all. So now, y'all, this is what we know, okay? And like I said, they did find DNA in the home. They did say that, okay? But it wasn't hers or related to like anybody with her. And that's big, you know? So they probably compared what they have found to people associated with Nancy, or at least I guess who would be in and around her, right? Now, just let me take you guys back a little bit. On Saturday, January 31st, at around 10 p.m., the family dropped Nancy off at home, right? And the garage door opens, I think around 10:48. And then the garage door closes at around, I think, 10:51. And then at 1:47 a.m., the doorbell camera disconnects. This is the point where Nancy was taken, abducted. And we're still trying to figure out like the blood trail, right? Not even a blood trail. Because they never said that it was a blood trail, right? They just found blood on outside on the porch, right? And I think in the house too. It's just crazy, you guys. And Nancy is still missing. And it seems like it's not really back to square one. It's not really a false alarm, but for us, and we know how, law enforcement has to work, they can't show their entire hand. Now, what made this lead relevant out of the 1,000, you know what I'm saying? Something is connecting for them. Something is connecting for them. I mean, the SWAT was involved, for Christ's sakes. Right? Hold on, y'all. Let me bring this up. Let's see. Now, let's go to Fox News right quick, see if they have any updates for us. All right. Let's see. Let me catch a date right quick. February 14th, 7:09 a.m. So about an hour ago. Okay, so we're pretty much up to date, guys. Let me make sure you guys can see this as well. Nancy Guthrie disappearance, vehicle towed, at least 3 detained in major operation connected to the case. Now, what to know? Let's see. Now, the Pima County SWAT team and the FBI executed a search warrant at a Tucson, Arizona residence late Friday night. This is what we're talking about now. Approximately 2 miles away from Nancy Guthrie's home, at least 3 people were reportedly detained in connection to the operation, but none have been confirmed as suspects in the Guthrie's disappearance. All right. Let me see. They also detained a man following a traffic stop in a Culver's restaurant parking lot in Tucson in connection to the warrant served on the nearby home. So those were definitely connected. A gray Range Rover was searched and towed from the parking lot. Now, from their home, I don't know. Because we just saw that footage. It looked like it was in an open parking lot. How is that connected? How is that gray Range Rover connected? I don't know, y'all. Now, we already know that they had already released a description of the suspect that was seen in the mask and gloves that was tampering with the doorbell, okay? The camera at Nancy Guthrie's home. Now, that happened February the 1st, right? Yes. Between 5'9" and 5'10", average build. They narrowed it down to an Ozark Trail backpack. Showed that he had a pistola on him. The FBI goes on to increase the reward from $50,000 to $100,000 for any information leading to the whereabouts of Nancy Guthrie. Right? And the conviction of anyone involved in her disappearance. Now, we're going into the second week. Is this not day 14? 2-week mark, guys. 2-week mark. And still no suspects. I would call these people maybe persons of interest, but you know, where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? Now, here is a photo of the person that was detained at the traffic stop. But we now know that there were no arrests. Okay? Ex-FBI agent warns handcuffs don't necessarily mean arrest, as the last 3 detained in the Guthrie probe. Okay? Images show a man. Sorry, y'all. In handcuffs during a traffic stop at a Culver's restaurant near Nancy Guthrie's home in Tucson late Friday night. Authorities have not announced any charges and have not confirmed they have the suspects at this time. Okay? This is a picture that I was telling you about. Now that's kind of fucked up, right? Because if you don't have anything to do with it, you know what I'm saying? Now you're on Front Street. Like, what? But hey, they gotta do what they gotta do. There's a woman missing. There's an 84-year-old woman missing. Yeah, y'all. So I wanted to make sure I showed you guys that too as well. I think we're pretty much caught up. Now let's go back to JLR and tap in, and let's just listen in, because right now we're waiting on, well, of course, any updates, any developments, any new news, and then I think the sheriffs or some type of authorities is going to make some type of announcement. So we're going to try to see if that's going to happen. All right. So let's go back into YouTube, y'all. This is the latest update. And hold on. Let's go ahead and bring this up, guys. Thank you guys so much for tapping in to Blown Name Media. Wait a minute. Hold on, y'all. Okay. Let's go. And we're just going to tap in, I guess, with JLR. We're just going to tap in and see what's going on, because he is boots on the ground, okay? He is there live, all right? Giving us the latest on this whole scenario, right? Let me bring this up so you guys can see this as well. All right, y'all. Let's watch a little CNN. Hold on, y'all.
One of the other concerns here is the fact that Amazon has this data may not concern me as much as the fact that what happens if a hacker obtains it? What happens if criminals obtain it and now know when somebody leaves their house every day, when they come back, if they have a dog, what time they walk the dog? If government is obtaining things with warrants, government doesn't have a perfect record of protecting data from hackers. What happens if criminals obtain this data? And I think there's a lot to talk about in that area as well.
Okay, so we've assessed the problem, but to stick with this animal theme that you and I are working up, the horses left the barn. I mean, what can we do about it?
I think it's not a matter of stopping to use it, right? We're not going back to typewriters, and we're not going back to pen and paper for writing books and the like. Okay, it's here to stay. The question is, are people aware of the risks, and will they take precautions? So I have some cameras inside the
All right, y'all. I'm just going to pull up JLR, and we're going to get into a little bit about what's going on right now. Boots on the ground. He is investigating live, keeping us up to date on everything that is going on. So I think this is the best source. Let's go ahead and tap in and see what's going on, guys. Hold on, I think an ad's gonna come up. You guys tap in to the comments. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Hold on, y'all. Hold on, y'all. Somebody says they have not released them yet. Somebody said they have not released them. Let's keep up, y'all. Hold on. Let me go ahead and play it for you.
Oh, there's ribbons tied up here. Tie ribbons up. And the cactus. Ribbons. Now what, folks? Now what? 46,000 people in the chat. Is this story crazy or what? Let's really see if the feds are at Annie and Tomaso's, or they're just regular people. For people in the chat, we'll stop back at that house again. We'll see you in the neighborhood where I'll just do it again before we go to Annie and Tomaso's. I'm sure you're waking up shocked this morning at the news that the perp is still out there. Yeah, I don't know what happened at the Culvers. I didn't really analyze that to a T. So if you guys want to fill us in on the Culvers guy, the sheet, the detainment. But we went back there last night either, and there wasn't like a crazy crowd. It was all gone. When we went to Culvers, there was nothing left. There was no car, no nothing. But it was weird because the feds had like sheet up as if there's like a body. You know, the feds probably have an idea who did this. And when the feds started coming in last night, swooming into this home, they're probably like, no, not the people. Well, we got to do our due diligence anyway. Nah, not them. Yeah, poor Nancy. report Nancy, right? You know, the Pima County Sheriff's feeling kind of embarrassed today. Or you just think they don't care? I'm talking about the sheriff. All right, so last night this scene was crazy here. Law enforcement blocked this road off right here. We were reporting live from here. There was a media circus out here. These homes are nice back here, by the way.
Okay, you guys, while JLR is on his way to his next location, let's go ahead and get into this third ransom note that was sent to TMZ, okay? Hold on, y'all. Now, TMZ gets a third email in the Nancy Guthrie case seeking money, more money than they had asked for before. Now, if you guys remember before, they asked for a $67,000 Bitcoin. Let's go ahead and get into the third email that they received, okay? TMZ gets a third email seeking money for info. Basically, they're saying, if you guys give me the money, I'll turn over who has Nancy or whatever. Let's go ahead and get into this. They received this yesterday from a man claiming to know the identity of Nancy's Guthrie kidnappers, demanding $100K from the FBI exchange for information and warning this would be the final contact. Now, that's funny because they're off 100,000. You feel me? So I guess the only difference is you're not what? I don't get it. You're not coming forward. You're not showing your face. Where they want you to come forward and show your face, because why would they give you 100K when they're offering 100K for you to bring your rabbit ass out and just say it? So it's, you know what I'm saying? Like, hold on, y'all. Now, like I said, they asked for a $67,000 Bitcoin. That wasn't going. People have been watching, or somebody has been watching. TMZ has been watching. No activity has been made as of now. Yeah. Let me see. So they asked for 100K, you guys. Now it says the sender said they would not touch the initial 50K payment until an arrest is made, at which point they would expect the FBI to deposit the remaining 50K. The person wrote, "Are gambling both for his safety and his possible freedom." Language 11 interpreted as suggesting that the sender may be close to the flame and worried about being implicated. The email concluded with a warning that authorities should be prepared to go international in pursuing the main individual, which Levin said can only mean Mexico. Oh my God, y'all. So that's what we have, y'all. That's what we have. And this is where I got it from, News Nation. I just wanted to let you guys see and know, okay? This is where I got this from, guys. All right? All right, so let's tap back in and see what's going on. Let me see if there's anybody else that we may be able to tap into on YouTube as well. But yeah, you guys see that. Hold on, y'all. Yeah, they talking about Mexico. What? What? Like I say, like he said, a media circus, y'all. All right, let's go ahead and get into this, you guys. If they did have some type of press conference or briefing or announcement, I don't know that they would have it like at the house. I don't know. But let's go ahead and get into this, you guys. And I will see if we can tap into anybody else. But let's go with JLR, tap in, and then I'll see if we can tap in somewhere else.
Never seen anything like this. You probably haven't either. Some tell JLR investigates that Savannah's husband was in Florida airport. So that comment. What was he doing in the Florida airport? If it was my neighborhood, Ken says, we would be demanding answers. The area is acting like we are the crazy ones for wanting to know what happened. Insane. I do feel bad for the neighbors in all these situations. I do. I mean, how long is the media going to, if this keeps going on and on and on, how long is the media going to be in front of Nancy's home? Yeah, I don't need a map anymore. I know where everything is, literally. We're almost at Tommaso's and Annie's. We're going back to another key spot. Look at this guy's license plate. Pure evil. The heck? Pure evil. I don't even know what to think anymore on this. Maybe I'm not thinking. Lack of.
All right, you guys. So this is where we are. Okay. Let me tap in and see if we can tap in somewhere else, y'all. Let's see. Is this JR? Live from now from Fox. We already saw that. Let's see if there's anybody else on, guys. I think I've brought you guys pretty much up to speed and let you guys know the latest on the Nancy Guthrie case right now that's going on. Walking catfish. Let's see. I think CNN. Let's tap in. Yeah, let's tap into Ike Mail. Okay. Let's see what he's talking about, you guys. He's pretty insightful. So I think we'll get some information out of here before I let y'all go. But yeah, let's see. Cause I'm just tapping into the social media streets to get all the information and just, share it with my peeps. All right, let's get into this, you guys.
All right. What's next?
I really can't believe we're back to the beginning.
Who's going to get detained next? Everyone is a suspect. Literally. Everyone is sent around this case.
Nano's a suspect.
Anyone that's a delivery driver in Catalina Foothills has a mustache. You better be on notice because they could probably come and get you at any time. All right, Circle K. You know the Circle K. We've been here every day. We go past Circle K. Circle K.
Oh, that lady, yeah. She kind of vouched for Tommaso.
I wonder how old the woman was that they scooped out of her home last night. And her son. Make them come down to the police station, sheriff's office, and be grilled by 100,000 investigators. SWAT came to their house. SWAT too. How traumatizing. How traumatizing is SWAT comes to your house and tells you to come out with your hands up and cuffs you and takes you down, only for it not to be you. I would think that's a lawsuit. Any lawyers in the chat? Totally innocent people can have SWAT vehicles and people with guns drag them from their house and stop their cars because of incompetent sheriff. KWNY Upstate says. All right, we're at Annie and Tommaso's home. There's no feds here. It's just a security guy. Quiet out here.
Insanity. Thank you, Clad. Appreciate it. Do I have an alibi? My alibi could be probably streaming. Like, I have so many. Oh, yeah, I'll take care of this thing. Hold on a second.
That's the other security guy that makes $100 an hour, he said. Something like that.
Take care of it.
That's what he said. Something like that.
So we can focus.
Somebody asked what's going on. What is going on? We're back to square one, ladies and gentlemen.
Back to square one, man.
See, the thing about that is they probably followed the law. You know what I'm saying? And went by the book. I'm just thinking that they would cover their own ass. Somehow in those books, I'm pretty sure that they can legally detain you. You know what I'm saying? They read you your rights. They go through the protocol. I don't know. But I do agree with him that it is traumatizing. Like, that had to be traumatizing. But are they still linked to something? We don't know. Because a lot of times they do detain people, let them go, and then later go and arrest them. Have we forgotten about that? Let's see what's going on, guys.
Yeah, there we go. You see?
That was talking about the man shooting himself in the head. They deleted the article.
Yeah.
What happened to the man with the self-inflicted gunshot wound? They deleted the article. It's in this article right here. Gone. It's gone.
Strange, man.
Gone.
The whole thing is just bizarre. Fake Daily Mail breaking news. Nano says Nano's thing could be years to find Nancy. No, bro. No way. I have to look that up. Oh. Let me check it out.
I'm going to keep it here for a minute. This is what Brian Ingham just put out.
Hey guys, so I just got an update from the Pima County Sheriff, Chris Nanos. He says that last night was them just tracking down leads. There were no arrests and there are no signs of Nancy. So just tracking down leads, no arrests, no signs of Nancy. That's exactly what he just told me. So I can't believe it. I mean, last night was insane. Sorry if I look crazy, by the way. I really basically didn't sleep. But, you know, it was an insane night. SWAT team was out. They went in on a house. There was a traffic stop. There was a Range Rover that was towed. At one point, there were 3 people who were detained, my sources were telling me. The investigation went on all night long. And apparently, as of right now, no arrests, no signs of Nancy. I will say this. If they are looking at DNA from anyone who they were talking to, that may take a little time. So we're going to have to wait and see on that front. But officially from the sheriff's office, just tracking down leads, no arrests, no signs of Nancy. And that's where we stand right now as of Saturday morning.
What a bunch of craziness, folks. And the house where it happened, no crime scene tape, no police there, nothing.
Mess. What a mess.
Unbelievable.
And so this Daily Mail article actually references the whole person that had shot themselves in the head. But a lot of news articles, they reference other articles. So the information they got was from the source that we were talking about, that we had the KVOA. And it said, shared an unconfirmed report of a neighbor seeing one person shoot themselves in the head during a SWAT raid, but there was no further information. And that's all they say. And that original article was deleted. Let's see what Matt said.
No arrest, no one in custody. There you go.
It seems to get another letter today. Here we go. Look, there's another article here. Somebody got an article. Neighbor says, we need to get a hold of this neighbor. We need to find this neighbor. If it's even true. Dramatic Friday night. According to Shadow Hills resident, everybody sourced the horse's mouth. But the horse's mouth has deleted the article. So what do you do? The horse has taken down the article. I wonder if this is the picture of the neighbors. But this was the article. According to a Shadow Hills resident who spoke directly to KVOA, she witnessed 3 people being detained during the operation and says another individual turned the gun on himself. The statement had not been confirmed or denied by any law enforcement agency. Oh, does he have this shit? Neighbor. Please follow up with the local KVOA TV. My audio was malfunctioning during this part of the live stream, but he got an alleged full interview. That's what I'm trying to figure out. What the hell happened? Okay. I'm sending him a message. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe he'll look into it. Maybe he knows something.
All right, y'all. I was trying to.
The bunny costume was enough. They were waiting for the Avengers to show up. So the bunny comes in.
Yeah, somebody was in a bunny costume.
Okay,
yesterday.
so I have to correct you, my friend.
That's what I was going to ask.
I have to
People
correct
were correcting me saying it's security.
Yes.
So that's not
Yes.
some undercover crap.
I know. That's what it's.
If we got
right?
any other reports here.
That's what.
So FBI We'll update on the Range Rover incident today.
That's what it's looking like to me, right? That they're somewhere close. Now, I wanted to bring you guys up to date. I mean, let's see, y'all. This right here is the SWAT and convoy vehicle that leaves the scene. Hold on, y'all. Green hearts in the chat if you guys can hear me. Because for some reason, I think y'all can't hear me. Hold on. Hello? All right, I think you guys can hear me now. Okay. All right. So, y'all, this is the convoy. Now, like I said, I gave you all the information on the Range Rover, the 100K, the trunk was searched. Now, let's keep going. Nancy Guthrie, latest as of 5 minutes ago. Hold on. This right here. No arrest made. Okay, we already know all that. The latest from Fox News on Guthrie's kidnapping. No arrest. So that seems to be the going narrative right now. No arrest. No one in custody after last night's police operation. All right. Was it a false alarm? I don't know. I'm not going to take anything lightly in this case. I'm going to let people do their jobs that I know nothing about. You know. So we already know about the third email that was received that asked for 100K. Hello. They're giving you 100K if you just come forward. So, we'll see what happens with that. Let's see. Okay, so we already saw that. We are live outside the home of Nancy Guthrie all day. So that's ABC News. All right. Yeah, so that seems to be the latest. Sheriff admits it could take years to find her. Why do y'all keep saying that? Like, I don't know how true that is, you guys, but you guys are looking at this in real time, okay? Let's see. We already know about them being detained. Okay, so I think we're pretty much caught up, you guys. 35 minutes ago. All right. Disappearance, 14 day. We are 14 days in, you guys. We do not know where that woman is at all. If you ask me, I think she's in the area. I mean, some people are saying, as far she may be anywhere, okay? She may be anywhere. Yeah, so this seems to be the latest, you guys. This is when they were searching the back of the car. They put up this sort of, not tarp, but they kind of held it so we couldn't see anything. They later took this car and towed it. So, I don't know, y'all. Everybody's going back to square one. Everybody is going back to square one. All right. We have two different agencies, the Pima County Sheriffs and the FBI working together, y'all. 84-year-old mother of Today's Show co-host Savannah Guthrie is still missing after suspected abduction from her Tucson home. Here are the latest jaw-dropping developments, okay? All right, you guys, let's get back to the live. I just wanted to make sure I gave you guys everything up to the minute that is being released. Now we are waiting for an upcoming announcement, I guess a briefing, a press conference, whatever they hold. The sheriff and the authorities will be speaking today, maybe on the DNA that was found in the home, maybe about the 3 people that were detained and not arrested, maybe a little bit of everything to give us a little bit of rundown or as much as they can. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But let's go ahead and get back to the live because, yeah, we're pretty caught up here on Twitter. We are pretty caught up here on Twitter, okay? Now we're going to be using different sources, but like I said, the source that we were using is pretty caught up. What's his name? Ensign? Brian Ensign. Let's see if he has anything else. All right, so he hasn't posted as of an hour ago. Okay. Or maybe not. Let's make sure. Yeah. So he hasn't posted as of an hour ago. So I think we're pretty caught up, you guys. Let's go ahead and go back live before I let you guys go. Hold on, y'all. What are they doing? Okay, so let's go back live. Let's go back to the YouTube. And yeah, you guys, it's pretty much the update. Let's see what's going on, though.
Said that suspect, not a suspect rather, but that individual who was questioned is clear for now. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes. Now, But again, the sheriff says no one has been ruled out, and he's actually told me, look, that guy who we questioned, maybe we'll arrest him later on. He was confident with his alibi, and he was released. But the sheriff is urging that anybody that they're questioning or briefly detaining could be later arrested. And I also would highlight that we haven't heard from the FBI on this matter. Okay. The statement that the sheriff initially released earlier was saying, we're holding off based on what the FBI is asking of us. So maybe the FBI will come out in a bit and give us something different.
Matt, keep us updated. Thank you.
My goodness. Remember, delivery driver Carlos Halazois. He was also handcuffed and detained in Rio Rico for hours before they let him go. Takes us back down to square one.
Crazy, dude.
The way you see an idea in your mind and shape it into something that could only come from you. This is how website creation should be. Wix Harmony, the new way.
Guest subscription. This person adds, I'd spend my last $40 making sure my mom was protected, wouldn't you? Maybe it was just mom's business and Savannah's just like, you do you, whatever you want to do. But that's one of the key things in this whole thing is, how do you not have subscription service? But, I mean, they were able to get the perps, even though they didn't have it in the cloud or subscription.
Yeah, we got to find out about this person that the self-inflicted gunshot wound. Hello? Oh, perfect. Okay. I have a whole setup going on over here. I need to clean it up a little bit, but so we can get the updates as they come in, whether it's X or news article.
I'm just going to position myself here. This is outside Annie Tomaso's home.
Just clean this up a little bit. Interesting. Okay, be right back. 1 second.
Okay, y'all.
I'm going over to Nancy's in a second. I'm just scouring things. I smell lawsuits. Yes.
All right, y'all. This is the latest. Okay. We are now tapping into JLR and seeing what he has for us. He is boots on the ground. So he is actually on the scene. We will be tapping in later, I guess, for the announcement or if any of the authorities speak on the situation. What is up, Rachel? The sweetest thing. What is up? Thank you for tapping in. Good morning. So yeah, so right now we're listening to JOR. I have caught you guys up with everything that is going on with and around this case so far. I mean, basically we're just waiting, monitoring, keeping up on what's going on. Anybody with boots on the ground would be a good person to tap into, right? And that's what we're doing. We're tapping into the boots on the ground and people that are keeping us up to date minute by minute, up to the minute updates on what is going on with the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. All right. If you guys are just tapping in, there were 3 people detained, but not arrested. Okay. Sheriff let us know that they are not off the hook. I mean, not necessarily, but they could be rearrested. Okay. It's not off the table. Nothing is off the table. All right. Some people are saying this was all wasted or all no. I feel like they're doing their job and we should just let them do their job. Okay. But who knows? There's a lot more people that are more educated on what's going on. So, I don't want to step on anybody's toes because, this is one of my passions, but I'm not a professional at this by any means. Okay. So I just want to make sure I let you guys know exactly what's going on. Make sure that we are on standby and give you the latest on day 14 on the abduction, the disappearance, the kidnapping, the taking of Nancy Guthrie. All right. Positive vibes and prayers going out to the friends, families, and anyone who is directly affected by the missing of their loved one, right? And just sending out positive vibes that she is alive, you guys. All right. We don't have any proof otherwise either. We don't have proof of life, but then again, we don't have proof of the opposite, right? So let's keep positive thinking, all right? And yeah, let's go ahead and tap in and see what's going on, guys, because, I've given you all that I can give you guys. All we can do is watch and wait. And I think just tapping in right now is going to give us that, all right? What did you say? Because why do I agree? Let them do their job for sure. Yeah, we got to let these people do their job, okay? We got to let these people do their job, y'all. Just because we're like, oh my God, oh, crashing, oh my God, oh, this is it. No, they're doing procedural work, right? They're following a protocol that some of us are not even privy to, all right? It would probably have to be explained to some of us, not all, as if you're talking to, you know what I'm saying, a kindergartner. So let's just, get off their necks. Let's give them a little breathing room and respect the process, okay? Unless otherwise, let's respect the process because everybody's on edge. I know the family is on edge. We're going into day 14. That can make anybody just, like be at their wits' end. And I'm saying it nicely, you guys. I don't want to get too ghetto over here. Especially when I'm talking about something so serious such as this, right? So let's tap in, y'all.
Cheryl McCollum, forensic expert and crime scene investigator. Thank you for joining us this morning, Cheryl. So we've had a lot of developments overnight. What can you tell us, big picture, about those developments overnight?
I like what I'm seeing. The first thing that's very encouraging to me is you're seeing the sheriff's department and the FBI working together. You see sheriff deputies holding lights while the FBI is taking photographs. You see them holding up the tarps while the FBI looks inside the trunk. I like what I'm seeing as far as cooperation. The other thing that's important is you're seeing the tactical side. Everybody showed up at this thing. You've got SWAT, you've got deputies, you've got FBI. They're all there. They're clearly serving a warrant. They are looking for that backpack, that clothing, anything that they saw on that video. That's what they want to identify inside that house. And I am encouraging to pick up this developing quickly.
And you know, Sheriff, you talked about Sheriff Nanos. He talked a little bit about the DNA found in Nancy's home that he believes does not belong to Nancy. Listen here.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe you found the DNA of the perpetrator inside the house? Do you believe that at this point?
What I believe is, what I know is, we found DNA. And
that was not Nancy Guthrie's DNA.
That was not Nancy Guthrie's DNA. So we'll still work with that, and we're working with our lab on that.
And Cheryl, that's certainly a significant development to actually find some DNA not belonging to Nancy inside the home, where we believe, based on the timeline law enforcement given us, was about 41 minutes from 1:47 a.m. and 2:28 a.m. Someone was in that house. Maybe this is a key. And you saw from Charlie's great wall walk there, laying out the pieces of evidence and clues that we have so far to include this DNA. My question to you, because you seem pretty upbeat that we're headed towards a major break. And we just had James Galliano detailing that to get these warrants, you needed a specific direction of what you were trying to get. If indeed that leads to DNA, forensic DNA evidence to add to what was found in the home, is that the big break we're waiting for?
It's going to be massive. In other words, if you can connect something found at Nancy Guthrie's home to this home they just went into, to a single individual, there's your money tree. Those are dots you have now connected conclusively. Nobody's going to deny DNA. We all understand that. So what they're doing, again, you see this precision. You see them walking very slowly through this thing to say, okay, we have a suspect at her front door. We also have Nancy's blood at that front door on the outside. So that means this perpetrator was moving her from the inside to the outside. We have a blood system of evidence that stops at a point. So we know at some point she didn't just quit bleeding because she's on blood thinner. So she's most likely put into a vehicle. If we have any of her DNA in the trunk of that Range Rover, if we have hair, if we have, again, that backpack, they did the right thing by holding up those tarps. And if you watch what they did when they closed the door and the trunk, they put evidence tape on those seals and they dated them and put their signature. That vehicle to them is a crime scene. They did the right thing by loading that up on that flatbed, getting it to another location to process it properly. I'm talking about one hair off somebody's head. So you don't want to try to do anything there at that scene. You want to take it to a location where you have something that you can take step by step by step, process it properly, bag and tag everything.
So you've got some very sharp observations about that search. Why are they holding up the tarp, trying to conceal it from view from the cameras?
Sure. Well, I mean, let's just say the obvious thing. They either have a container or they have a body. They have something that is their main focus. But y'all, we have children and grandchildren watching this from the Guthrie family. You want to respect all probative. You want this information. You want these items, but you want to maintain, the decorum of what you're doing while you're systematically protecting that family.
Valentine's Day.
Cheryl, you are an experienced crime scene investigator. We love having people with your experience on, not just because you identified the facts, but because that experience gives you a gut instinct about what may have happened. I know you don't know definitively anything. None of us do. But based on your experience and based on your gut instinct, what do you think is the motivation here?
Well, I don't think it's money because they failed spectacularly. She wasn't ransomed the first day, the second day. The third day, they sent it to TMZ. They give them 2 separate deadlines to get the money.
Right.
Savannah Guthrie says on Saturday, we will pay.
Right.
Her mama isn't released Sunday, and then Monday comes and goes in the second deadline. that leaves for me revenge. So I don't know what their motivation would be. It's in their head, whatever they deemed revengeful. But to me, that's what we're left with.
That is fascinating.
Truly. Cheryl, thank you so much for that insight. Yes, indeed. Thank
You know what I want to do? We should go to Walmart and see if we can find the Ozark backpack. Ozark.
Yeah, what happened to we're gonna pay, I'm gonna pay, and then not paying, and then all this stuff with Harvey Levine? And it's incredible. It's incredible. Nancy Guthrie sheriff admits it could take years to find Savannah's abducted mother. Years. Get this mother effer off the force. Get him off. Years?
And that's exactly what I say. Okay. Now, that was a good theory or the way of looking at it. What we just heard that woman say, she said revenge. Because if you think about it, it's true. If they were doing it for money, they failed miserably. They missed that window of opportunity. With the reward being $100K for you just to come out and just let us know, and we'll let them know anything that would lead to the arrest and the whereabouts of Nancy. And you still sitting up here playing? Revenge. It has to be on the table because we're trying to make sense of this, right? We really are. We're trying to make sense of the blood droplets that were left on the porch, which did a DNA test on, and it turned out that that was Nancy's blood, right? Her disappearance when she was last seen, brought home by her own family members who live just miles away from her. They always start with the people that are closest to you. So don't come for us. It's the natural process. Especially when it's couples or it's, domestic like that. They always come after the husband, the girlfriend, the wife, the boyfriend. That's the way it goes because these type of things are normally done. What we're talking about here, we're talking about an abduction, right? But it's the way that it was done. First of all, why did they have to injure her? Why is her blood on the damn porch? This is an 84-year-old woman. She couldn't have put up there's nothing that you could tell me that would constitute or deserve for her to be leaking on the porch. That woman was leaking. Now, like I said, maybe it was because they roughhoused her or maybe mishandled her or, in some kind of way. I don't understand why that would happen. And I'm not saying that she didn't resist. But we're talking about one suspect, maybe even more, and an 84-year-old woman with medical needs, medication, pacemaker, and can't walk more than 50 yards. And we clearly see her with a cane in her hand, pictured with her daughter. All of those challenges, why did they have to do that in the first place? Okay. Then you think about the man that was caught on the Nest camera. How did he not know that there was going to be a Nest camera right there? Was this haphazardly planned at the last minute? Were these just a bunch of dope heads, or people just, got together and just thought that they could pull this off? A bunch of numbskulls. This is definitely not any type of planned, criminal, entity. You know what I'm saying? There's no way. I feel like this was haphazard. I feel like this was poorly planned, if at all. I think this was a last minute decision. I think it came out of desperation. Okay, maybe even revenge. But I feel like it came out of desperation. Either, for example, either somebody in and around Nancy that wasn't related to her found out that she was, well, of course you're in her house, so you know her neighborhood and her house, which she raised her children in. Okay. So you're going to know that she comes from some type of wealth, right? But just to maybe find out that her daughter is a popular, newscaster on a top major, network. Maybe somebody changed some type of life insurance policy lately. I don't know. Maybe siblings, maybe some type of family rivalry that we are not abreast to, like we are not privy to. And you know how some families be a total mess. Okay. Some of us can probably raise our hands with our own damn family. All right. And there's so many different dynamics, Then again, they could be thick as thieves and have absolutely nothing to do with this. Maybe it's just chalking up to, well, the last people that we're seeing with Nancy are going to be the first people that are suspected and questioned. And are they eliminated? The way the sheriff is talking, nobody that they have talked to or suspected or who has come under fire even a little bit is free to go. They are not free to go. We might be revisiting you, which lets us know that maybe the family's included in that to some degree. Now, seeing that I don't know these people and I really, I pay attention to body language, but I'm not an expert. But I know what I know, I'm more of a looking at the human behavior of a person. So I can't really rely on that. And I don't know these people. I don't know their dynamic. I don't know the relationship. I'm probably thinking of the latest episode of, you know what I'm saying, of a show that I watched. But it does happen. People are people, y'all. Just because they rich, just because they are popular, just because, look. Because as much money as Cardi B has, as much power, as much fame, as much all of that she has, and the way she be crashing out online, that should let you know. Okay. So yeah, y'all, let's tap back in and see what's going on. Let me see what you guys are saying. I will be in the chat, but let's tap back in, you guys. All right.
A lot of things don't make sense, and they describe her fragile health, the medications that she has to take. I mean, I remember in the beginning of this, they were like, she can't go a day without her medication. Now we're almost on week 2. Today's day, what, 12 or 13? Day 12, maybe? They're saying a raid followed a tip and a search warrant hours after unknown DNA was found on Guthrie's property. I wonder if that had anything to do with it. Probably not, though. They're still saying it's unidentified, the DNA. Let me show you some of these pictures, though, because this is, kind of just high quality pictures from last night. The New York Post. Oh, I forgot I was still zoomed in. But here you can see this last night. The vehicle. The reporter said there might be more on this later. The vehicle. This is a Range Rover. This is the one where they were holding up the blanket or whatever it was. There might be more to come with that. And noticeably they opened up the trunk and they were like looking in there and doing something, maybe collecting evidence. I believe these are detectives right here.
Yes, it would be a damn shame. You ain't lying. If relatives did this to this lady. But like you said, none of it adds up, y'all. Do y'all see that? And you know what makes it not really add up and puts the icing on the cake? And I hate to keep going back to this, but when the man came to the camera, he tried to put his hand up to it. Like, you retarded bozo? You think that's good? Look, you came to snatch a whole person and you don't know nothing about a camera? Nigga, you could have been in the hood and there would have been a camera. What is wrong with you? You don't think you're about to go to a multi-million-dollar or however much that house costs, hundreds of thousands of just an expensive house in an exclusive neighborhood where rich folks live. I don't give a fuck how much the house costs. And you thought you was gonna walk up right to the front door, the front porch, and not encounter not one camera. You can't even go on Crenshaw and Slauson right now and walk up to nobody's door and ain't no ring door camera on it. Then he puts his hand up to it like that's gonna do something. That ain't doing nothing. It's not. Then he goes and reaches down and gets some shrubbery. He grabs a handful of desert plant and comes back to the camera. How did you think it was going to stick, sir? Do you have some type of tape? Say electric tape that you could have just put two pieces together and had it on your hand and just came and just slapped it on? What he would have forgotten is I think that Nest cameras have audio as well. Ultimately, he tears it down, but that is a hint and a half that he was not prepared or dumb as a bag of rocks. So I don't know. Nothing's adding up, you guys. Nothing's adding up. I have found out within the last 5 years that a couple of my family members have been the inside ops for years. It's eye-opening. It's sad and real. Oh my God. What? Welcome, Amy Eliza. Wow. You said my mama is 79 years old and she would a dang show put up a fight. Just my opinion of why there would be blood. Plus the skin was thin. Yeah. She did have, I think she was taking blood thinners. I don't know, something of that sort. But you can look and tell on her arm that her skin was thin. And that kind of happens as you get older and older and older. 84 years old. Right? You said everybody got their Ring camera these days. Exactly. This was ill prepared. Either they planned it last minute or it's just haphazard. It's just clumsy. They just don't. They're just bumbling idiots. I think that something may go down, you guys. All right. And we are waiting the upcoming. Let's see what's going on. Hold on.
Thing the sheriff has said, holy shit.
Whoa. What's that? I just built a budgeting app and basically
we may never find her. And even if that's true, damn, I just imagine if, first of all, like we've already reiterated so many times, like if it was you or me or anybody else, there would not be like 200. How many investigators are for? Now it's saying nearly 400 investigators. Just like grasp that in your mind, because I know we're always talking numbers and it's kind of like 400 investigators, including the FBI, working on the case. 400. Could take years. I don't know. Maybe we'll never find her. Wow. That is incredible. And they went from saying that, I feel like it's like shifted. They went from saying, man, this was like professional. This was like, I don't know. This is like very well calculated. This is, I don't know, an expert. And then, oh, they're not an expert. They have no idea what they're doing. And then look where we're at. Like, I know sometimes I feel like you have to be like patient, and how many cases it's like you think they know nothing and then boom. But it is peculiar and interesting with the raids that have gone on and resulting in, I guess, nothing.
It's where we have officers going out, questioning people, trying to figure out what happened. But the fact that we've now had 3 situations, one last week, and then yesterday it was really 2 separate scenes where they were bringing people in. That's rare. I mean, they're getting warrants, they're going into homes, and yet we're not getting any new details. You know as well as I do, Kaylee, in order to go into someone's home, you have to have probable cause. A judge has to sign a warrant, and there has to be a reason for you to do so. And the fact that we don't know what any of those reasons are is very difficult. It makes it difficult to speculate on what's happening here, and it makes it difficult for us to understand what the next phase of this investigation truly is. And are these real leads, or is it a shot in the dark?
That's my question. So we know with these search warrants that you could cite exigency. Here there's a woman who we don't know where she is. We don't know if she's kidnapped. We are trying to find an 84-year-old. So you can cite exigency as you attain that warrant. But I'm interested in what you said about how it is rare. Multiple warrants, multiple homes. We all heard from that individual, that food delivery man, which ended up not leading in any clear direction.
Yes. And I don't necessarily think the warrants themselves are that rare if they have probable cause in order to get it. Obviously, a judge signs off on those things. But the fact that you're...
An IQ of 85 to 115 is considered average in the U.S., and IQ of 115 to 145 is considered high.
For a period of time, they're let go, you're arrested. Normally it's longer. Arrest has to do with probable cause, and a detainment has to do with reasonable suspicion. But you know as well as I do that if someone is losing their freedom, even if it's for a short period of time, they are not free to leave. And so it's one thing to go and knock on a door and say, hey, I have some questions, and try to piece some things together. But it's a total other to be bringing people in and then letting them go this many times, I think, in a couple of days.
And the importance, as we both know, of crossing your T's and dotting your I's. You are trying to find Nancy Guthrie. You're also trying to build a case. You have to Mirandize people. You have to make sure your searches are above bar. You have warrants. Talk to me about the importance of trying to find someone. That is number 1. But number 2, preserving evidence for a case down the line.
Well, and definitely that's goal number 1, is to find someone. But if you find someone and then you do something improper, then later on, if you have someone to arrest, you do not want to botch that investigation, which then leads to a technicality and somebody being released after committing a terrible crime. So yes, the police have to make sure they do what they are supposed to do in order to make sure that due process is met, that everyone's rights are preserved, because otherwise, you don't want to have an issue later on. The fear I see here is this is very strange, this back and forth law enforcement volleying that the FBI is doing with local law enforcement. And it's very bizarre to me. We're hearing, well, maybe the FBI will say something different. Well, why would they say something different? They should be working together. I understand the need to not want to talk while an investigation is pending because you don't want to tip anyone off. But at the same time, it seems very sketchy. One day we hear something about there was a glove in the house, and the next day we hear there wasn't a glove in the house. These are things that I think should be buttoned up. Was this a forced entry? Was it not a forced entry? At first we were told it was not, and then we were told we're not going to talk about it at all. So it's a strange investigation, I think.
Donna Ritudo, thank you.
Okay. Let's see what Joe. I guess though right now it's just
Jay,
being at
something
Nancy's.
brings different. Something different, right? How are you doing?
Perfect. Amazing.
You live around here? Nice area.
Beautiful. Quiet.
What do you think about all this? Look, 39,000 people watching.
39,000.
Yeah.
Are you from the media? Which one?
JLR Investigates.
Oh, you are a investigator?
No, just a journalist.
Oh,
Sleuth.
okay.
Citizen journalist, gonzo journalist, YouTuber.
YouTuber.
What's that in your eye there? What's that? Like a mirror?
Oh, stop.
Yeah, right here. The
Oh, so you can see behind me. Ah. How many miles you do a day?
40 something.
40 a
40?
day?
Damn. I
No,
need to
not
get, I need,
Every day.
every other day or twice a week at least.
Oh, good exercise. Good air. You have a good day, sir.
I have a friend many years ago that he had lost a bunch of weight. And I think he did it biking. And he invited me one time and he let me borrow one of his bikes. And I was like, all right, I thought it was gonna be like a casual, like whatever. The guy's like pretty tall, like bigger than me, like really, but he had lost a lot of weight. And so I joined him on a B12. What happened to this morning? I don't know. The deleted news article is in Discord public chat. They tagged you in it.
All right, you guys. So you guys heard what the breakdown was. And at the end of the day, they do have to follow protocol, right? They don't want technicalities that can get off someone that's guilty. So they have to make sure they dot their I's and cross their T's. And then we're caught between like a rock and a hard place because we don't want them to be able to tip off the suspect, yet they have to inform the public, right? Keep the public informed. So it's kind of a sing and dance there. I don't know. Yeah, so I guess what we're waiting for is for an announcement, some type of update where the authorities come out and speak to us, right? Hold a press conference. I don't know exactly what it's called, but we are waiting for them to open up and speak and give us an update on everything that has happened, you guys. Let's listen in for a little bit more. If I get a little more people in here, I will stay. Other than that, I'm going to go ahead and end this. And like I said, if there's any more updates, I will come back and let you guys know. All right. Thank you guys so much for tapping in to the chat. Let's go ahead and get into this. Amy Eliza, thank you. Cuz Wido, appreciate you. Thank you. Shout out to my mods, my members. Anybody new, make sure that you subscribe to this channel. We are on the road to 10K. Rachel, the sweetest thing. Appreciate all of you guys, all of you lovely ladies, and whoever else is tapped in. Shantae, Teresa Saves, SJ. Thank you, you guys, for tapping in. We're going to listen a little bit more. Clear Ashes. I just want to make sure I give a shout out to my day ones and to all my VIPs. Make sure you guys join the Blonay Society. And thank you so much, Mojo Shy, and everybody else for supporting this platform. Okay. What's up to God blesses as well. Let's go ahead and get into this, and then we're out of here, guys.
He did an interview with a neighbor, Peter Molk, lives across the street. Let's hear what he had to say.
Unbelievably absurd. It's making everybody nervous. It's just surreal. And we just can't imagine how the family is processing all this. You know, as a neighbor, as a person that lives in the community, we just wanted to resolve, for the positive.
So what do you think? How's it feel? There's, 20 cop cars, a couple SWAT.
Yeah, I live right across the street.
Right across the street.
Yeah, it's weird.
Tell us your thoughts when you saw that going on, maybe, just about trying to process it all. Tell us how you feel about that.
We feel that, they might have gotten a tip. There's been a lot of tips, I'm sure, over the past 2 weeks, but this seems to be a tip that's, could be close. Hopefully it's something that's credible and, it's actual. So hopefully they get somebody, but living right so close to it, I can't imagine that if they get somebody that lives right next to me on my street, that, that even makes sense, to be in this neighborhood, to have all these cops here, there's bomb squad vehicles, a lot of cops, a lot of presence.
Strong ad there. Okay. SF Investigates posted, released the rest of the surveillance video from the Nancy Guthrie kidnapping. The sheriff and FBI acknowledged this morning that it could take years to find her with their current investigation. Put the video out. Someone may recognize the suspect when seen from the right angle. The Guthrie family must feel defeated right now. They have the resources available and should consider bringing additional private assets at this point. That's what I would do. I don't know if they have. I mean, get a not just a private investigator, should get a whole team of private investigators. If you're worth millions, get a whole team of private investigators and start following up on leads and put the pressure on the police. Sometimes they'll work with police, maybe get some information, talk with neighbors, canvas stuff. Get people will probably just hand them over shit, videos and stuff, ring videos, go door to door. They'll put in the work. Why hasn't the family done that? SF investigates saying that there's remaining video. Release the remaining video. Public confidence is being lost. There is no secrecy in this case anyway. You have a caravan of 200 reporters following you to every innocent person's house you raid with a search warrant. I mean, with the family, with as much money as they have, man. I mean, it's just, of course, I'm hindsighting, but man, I would have see if I can get a private investigative team, also get a lawyer involved to be on top of the police, to push things out. Like, we're calling for answers, we're making demands, hit the press. I mean, maybe they don't want to like turn on the cops kind of thing because they're investigating. But man, get some lawyers, get a lawyer team. They're gonna fucking put pressure. We're pushing for release, pushing for it to get things done. What's going on here? Get a private investigator team, hire a couple of these motherfuckers, get some bounty hunters to start knocking on all the doors in that neighborhood. Go door to door. Hire somebody that knows how to use that satellite imaging. There's satellite imaging websites. You can pick the day of the month. I've seen some of them yesterday, but you got to pay a lot of money. Hire some specialists in that and go to the satellite images from the day of and the day before and the whole fucking month and pull up they say you can see cars and everything on some of those satellite images. Have somebody go do that. It's time. I don't know. I think it's time that like you can't just like sit back with especially with the sheriff. You need to be proactive. And I'm not saying they're not. I don't know what they're doing, but the time for just sitting,
Whoa. What's that?
All right, you guys, hold on. It's a commercial. There was word that somebody had unalived themselves during the SWAT raid. That turns out not to be true.
fucking people to start looking into this shit.
He is basically suggesting that the family get their own private team and get on it ASAP. With a sheriff talking like that, where I guess the sheriff said it may take years to find her. I mean, I don't know how true that is. He said it a few times now, so I guess there's some weight to that. But by looking in the comments, somebody said investigate the shady sheriff. I think this was a robbery gone wrong. Somebody said polygraph. Seen a lot of things. Who's this lady? She's probably just a looky-loo. Honestly, dude, at this point, she is not alive. They've already delayed Ish. They messed up big time. So, these are different people's sentiments and feelings and POVs in the chat. But remember, YouTuber found Gabby. Remember? I feel this has gone deeper than anyone thought. Yeah, you guys. Should the family be angry? Do you think they took her to Mexico? It's not that far from Arizona, you know? What is happening, guys? This is really, really crazy because something just doesn't add up. I mean, not that it ever would, but just how things are playing out, it's making me even more intrigued, like even more like wanting to look into this and like just really it come to an end, a peaceful, like a happy ending. That's what we all wish for, right? That's what we all wish for. I would take a deep dive into TMZ for sure. What happened last night? Those people get arrested? No, they did not. Those people were detained but not arrested. Okay? Reasonable suspicion would cause somebody to get detained. All right? You would need probable cause in order to arrest somebody. So who's to say they're not trying to get probable cause or looking for probable cause? Just like the sheriff said, nobody is safe, basically. Even the people that they have detained, questioned, and let go could still be rearrested. So that means there's some type of connection, y'all. They're not just picking people just out of a hat. Guaranteed that. Okay, let's get back and see what's going on, guys. Doesn't look like much is going on, so
Search warrant. Search warrant. What do I need to do?
I read an article somewhere about that. Let me see. I'm trying to look it up. Well, it's kind of convoluted. It's not actually black and white. So, and we have mentioned this before. The sheriff's office has been working with this Florida company for, I guess, years, and they started sending over evidence before the FBI got involved. And apparently, there's some type of pro bono work, even though costs and pro bono work, DLI is providing analysis pro bono free, and Pima County has spent $200,000 overall in lab work. So Nano said that the local leadership agreed to this to avoid duplication, supposedly, especially in several gloves found.
Okay, Shantae, I didn't know you're in Arizona. Okay. So it was just raining last night. Is that a desert rain? So that means it wasn't that cold? I know the temperature drops at night, I'm sure. I don't know. But shout out to Shantae. I didn't know she was in AZ right now. Okay. 2 hours away from Arizona.
To return from Florida, forcing retest. This slows the joint investigation. No chain of custody. So that Florida company can generate reports that are routinely shared between the sheriff's office and the FBI. The reports are generated. Those reports are shared between both agencies and keep moving. Physical material. The lab can and likely would forward additional. The lab can and likely would forward original items like the gloves, which could then send them to Quantico. However, the FBI's complaint centers on waiting for this loop rather than direct access. Private labs like the LI frequently collaborate with that federal labs and can ship evidence under strict protocols. They can't upload files via CODIS and stuff like that. So results sharing, sheriff views this as no problem. Reports that the reports are shared directly with the FBI. The FBI source says that it's accessible, but it's not a substitute for the FBI's own testing. Centralized DLI for efficiency. That's what they're saying. Returnable to the FBI if needed. The physical evidence. FBI said blocked until return requires retesting. I mean, the lab, supposedly it's a good lab in Florida, but I don't know to the standards of the FBI. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. Maybe, I mean, if it was me, I'd want to do my own work. I wouldn't just take what somebody else said, even though I'm sure they're professionals and everything like that. But I don't know. I guess it's just messy, I guess. It's messy. And the whole thing that Sheriff Nanos put out is like, no, there's no problem. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Everything's fine. Even though we've heard a lot of reports that everything is not fine. You know?
And a Fox News alert, we are monitoring a possible major breakthrough.
Last night. That was last night. Last night. Okay.
All right, y'all, hold on.
There were 2 hit and runs reported last night. I think Dolly Vision ran across one of the incidents. He said that what he thought and the internet ran wild with it.
All right, you guys. So this is the latest. You said the lady or is the lady or her children political connected in any way? I don't know. I mean, I know Savannah, of course, is a well-known, right, renowned news anchor for one of the biggest networks, right, NBC. I don't know their affiliation to any political party or political standing, but something is something. Something that we don't know, that we're not privy to, is probably the backbone of this whole thing. Whether it's life insurance, whether somebody is money motivated because they broke and somehow they're connected to her, whether it was somebody who was just briefly in her home, because like I said, not confirmed, but I heard that she was getting some type of electrical work or some type of work done to her home. I have also heard that she has home caregivers or health caregivers. There's also cameras. I don't know if they're throughout the home, right? I don't know, you know? And then you have to think about, they didn't show us a trail of blood. So what would make her just bleed right there and then stop bleeding? Did the person pick her up? Did the person wrap a towel around her arm, her leg, or whatever was bleeding? Like, why wasn't there not a trail of the blood? Why was there even blood? Did they injure her to the point where they had to carry her out? We know that she can't walk more than 50 yards. They probably didn't take the precaution to, oh, let me grab your medication. And by the way, let me grab your cane for you. We can tell by the indication of blood. They said there was blood found inside of the home as well. There also was DNA found that does not link itself to Nancy or anybody who is familiar with her, meaning her family, or maybe, you know, the health caregivers or whoever was in the home, right? And I know you guys have heard of DNA. It is very, very powerful. And the reason why I say that is because there's different types of DNA, right? Now, what I'm talking about is basically the different types of DNA, all right? Now, all I have to say about that is basically it's sort of like different. Now, this is real work because, like I said, they said that they found the DNA inside of Nancy's home, but it was not hers or anyone related to her. And that's big. And so they compared that, right? What they found to people probably associated with Nancy, or at least I guess who would be in and around her, right? And somebody talked about this, about like different types of DNA, like DNA from blood, for example, okay? Or DNA from semen, for example, is going to be different from what we call touch DNA, because DNA is easily transferable, y'all. You know, your fingerprints, when you touch something, doesn't take much effort. But the thing about that is anybody can touch that for any number of reasons. And that DNA can be on top of somebody else's DNA from way, way back. Now, the person who said this gave a little scenario story of someone whose DNA was found at a crime scene, but it turns out that that person just simply helped build the appliance. And his fingerprints were on the parts of the appliance, a refrigerator. He helped build a refrigerator. And because of him touching the different parts, his fingerprints were on that specific refrigerator part. So in conjunction with a criminal case where they're giving DNA and he's called into question, he had nothing to do with it, right? He touched it a good 6-8 months back, maybe. And that's the trickiness with the touch DNA, right? So they're definitely going to have to break down that DNA that did not match Nancy. And they had to have compared it to the people that were normally in and around her. Because that's just like saying, oh, her daughter Annie's fingerprint. Oh my God, they're there. Duh. She stays miles from her mom. She's probably at her mom's house all the time. That doesn't mean that she took her mom. You feel me? So that's where it's really touchy with touch DNA. So I don't know, guys. Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. You say it's also weird. Nothing happens in Tucson. So I'm sure the residents and neighbors are worried. Yes. I'm pretty sure they are. With the exclusivity of it, the spaciousness of it, how all the properties, sprawling properties, some an acre of property or maybe even more. You have no street lights. You know what I'm saying? You are in an exclusive, almost remote area. You are desert living. So a lot of times I heard they have to look down and look out so that they don't step on rattlesnakes. We're talking about the desert here. Remember, the man that was on the porch that we saw eventually tearing down the Nest camera had a flashlight in his mouth. Seemed as if he was looking down when he was walking up. He walked up from the left. Okay? People are known to look down. Well, so they say. I don't know, but that's what they were saying online, because it is normal to look down. No street lights. You don't want to step on a rattlesnake, okay? You can look at the terrain and tell that wildlife does come to visit you, okay? Or it can easily come and visit you. I don't know. NBC, yeah. You said Savannah Guthrie was a news anchor. Did she ever speak out against Trump administration? I don't know. Let me see. Hold on, you guys. Let me look. So, Guthrie speaks out on Trump. Uh-oh, it's all capital. I hope that doesn't mean anything. Let's see if she does. No, Uh-oh. Girl, wait a minute. Hold up. Let's see what's going on. Let me bring it up with y'all so y'all can see. Girl, Amy, I hope you ain't got us going down no damn rabbit hole. Hold up. Let us take this down, you guys. Hold on. Because I put in the search bar, Savannah Guthrie say anything about Trump. And this is what popped up, y'all. At first, nothing. And then I think y'all got me going down a rabbit hole. Hold on. Did she say something? Did she ever speak out against Trump? Let's go ahead and let's look. I'm going to take you back to 2020. Let's see. Bloomberg News. Savannah Guthrie to Trump. Let's see what she's saying. You're the president, not what? Hold on. Let's get into this, guys. Did she ever speak out against Trump? Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to still get the title of this. Before I let it talk, let me read the title, guys. It says, Savannah Guthrie to Trump. You're the president, not someone's crazy uncle. Uh-oh. Let's listen to it. It's about a minute or so. Let's listen. Let me bring it up, y'all. Take a listen.
Cities run by Democrats, not run by Republicans.
Republican Senator Ben Sasse said, quote, QAnon is nuts and real leaders call conspiracy theories. Just this week, you retweeted to your 87 million followers a conspiracy theory that Joe Biden orchestrated to have SEAL Team 6, the Navy SEAL Team 6, killed to cover up the fake death of bin Laden. Now, why would you send a lie like that to your followers? You retweeted
That was a retweet. That was an opinion of somebody, and that was a retweet. I'll put it out there. People can decide for themselves. I don't take a position.
You're not like someone's crazy uncle who can just retweet whatever.
That was a retweet And I do a lot of retweets. And frankly, because the media is so fake and so corrupt, if I didn't have social media, I don't call it Twitter, I call it social media, I wouldn't be able to get the word out. And the word is and you know what the word is? The word is very simple. We're building our country stronger and better than it's ever been before.
Thanks so much for watching Bloomberg Quick.
Imagine being able to build an app with your
She clearly had a clash with the president. Shout out to Amy Eliza for taking us down that rabbit hole. She clearly had a clash with the president in October of 2020. Probably thinking that he would never be reelected again in his whole natural life of living. But here we are. Here we are. Because I'm still pretty sure somebody pushed the frumpy lady down them stairs for her money. Mitochondrial versus nuclear DNA. I'm no expert. We need a geneticist to explain all of that. Yeah. I was meaning the Cheeto first Russian's wife. I think somebody pushed that lady down them stairs for her money. Ooh, okay. Also, Annie and her husband was living there for a while with Nancy. Oh, for real? Really? Isn't she a teacher and he's something? You know, they live a pretty modest life. It would be unlike, even if you come from money, don't mean that you're going to have a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? The bulk of the wealth of this family is probably lies in Falls with Savannah. Before they bought that house 10 minutes away. Wow. Okay. R.I.P. Ivana. Now she lies in rest in an overgrown grave. One of the Cheetos golf courses in Jersey, SMDH. Is that Ivanka? Because I think Ivana might be his daughter. I'm not sure. There's a large conservation out there that allows them to see the sky and stars at night, hence the reason for no lights. Oh, Lord. Girl. People move out there for that reason. Oh, I get it. I get it. So it's known. That's the lure of that area or for that part of Arizona. She interviewed one of Epstein's victims. Oh, Lord. Savannah did? Do y'all think that this might have something to do with her clash? She said, you are the president, not somebody uncle. You can't just be out here just tweeting what you want, just talking about, I retweeted. Like, bro. She definitely had a clash with him, okay? Buckle up, buttercups. Here we go down the rabbit hole. Y'all. We're just trying to make it make sense, okay? We are trying to get to the whole motive for this craziness and why you would take somebody 84-year-old mother for what? That seems like it's personal or just dumb as hell. Either it's personal or random as fuck. Either one of those excuses would call for a bumbling idiot to get it all wrong, but yet still not be discovered by the authorities. This is not no grand scheme. This is not no organized crime ring or anything like that. I can guarantee you. I can't say for sure, but if I was a betting woman, I would bet my bottom dollar that this is not, or it's not organized. Because if you are organized crime, boy, you get an F. I ain't even gonna give you an A for effort. You get a mother. When I see you go grab that shrubbery and walk up to the camera with, you got an F. Instantaneously, motherfucking F. I'm not even giving you an A for effort. No gold stars for you. Ultimately, I want Nancy Guthrie to be found and for all this to be over. All right. But here we are, guys. All right. Oh, wow. Interviewed one of the victims. Yeah, that's some tea, child. That is some tea. And that's probably why that goddamn sheriff is acting slow as F2. Could be a political hit, y'all. SMDH. Wow. Ivana is the mother that fell down the stairs and buried on the Jersey golf course. Ivanka. Oh, Ivanka is the daughter. Okay, sorry. We don't want to put nothing on the daughter now. Now remember, his daughter and them Epstein files and Trump. Remember, we're not going to say nothing else. We're not going to say anything else. We don't know. Okay. Yep. Ivanka is the daughter of DJT. Ivana is his first wife, buried on one of his golf courses in New Jersey. Wow. All right, you guys. We have been on here for 3 hours. I am going to come back. Maybe I can build my audience. Okay. Maybe I can build my audience. Even though I don't need it. You guys see, I've been talking for 3 hours with just y'all. So I love to do this. Okay. And not only do I do this online, but I too am part of the new media with the boots on the ground. Okay. Now I do attend court cases, you guys. All right. And I do want to let you guys know that. Now, I've attended the Tory Lanez case. I've attended the ASAP Rocky case. And I've attended one more case. I can't think of which other one. I have one more. It was a while ago before I was a YouTuber, though. Okay. It was a while ago before I was even a YouTuber. I am now officially part of new media. New media has been recognized. Shout out to Milagro Grams. She took the bumps and the bruises, so we didn't have to, okay? And in her lawsuit, she was deemed officially, new media was deemed as legitimate media, okay? That was a very, very important time for new media. So I do, like I said, I want to shout out to Milagro Graham. Sorry, girl, but thank you, girl. You feel me? I don't know which way to go. With it, but regardless of that fact, you guys, like I said, that was something big for us. And I am a trial junkie. And I will be covering the upcoming trials of KPD, which is the Tupac trial, which is coming up in August of this year, August 10th. And the Little Dirk trial, which is coming up April 21st, I think. All right. Now, I just want to show you guys. Now, now, like I said, I have a travel fund. If you guys want to help a sister out, all right? If you guys want to help a sister out, let me go ahead and show you a little of the highlights, okay? Go ahead and take a look at this for the KPD trial.
And charged with the 1996 murder of rap icon Tupac Shakur here in Las Vegas has been pushed back. Dwayne KPD Davis' attorney, Robert Draskovich, asked for a delay because of the amount of evidence to comb through. Local judge granted his request, rescheduling the trial from early February to August. Davis is the only person ever charged in Shakur's murder. He has pled not guilty.
All right. So I will be attending this trial, you guys. All right. And like I said, this trial is coming up in August in Las Vegas. Okay. This case will be in Las Vegas, you guys. All right. Now, I want to also bring you guys up to speed on the Little Dirk trial. Let me go ahead and put this up because we got to get ready, y'all. We got 3 months. Basically, this is February, March, April. We have a little over 2.5 months before, or maybe 2 months, almost 3 months. Okay, because this is going to be April 21st. So as you guys can see right here, we got to get ready a little bit early. Hold on, guys. Now, as you guys see, Little Dirk's federal murder for hire trial will begin on April 21st in Los Angeles, California. Okay, so we will be boots on the ground. I will be bringing this to you raw and uncut. Well, not really. I'll be bringing it to you live. Live in real time. Okay, well, we don't know about the raw part and the uncut. We got to kind of polish ourselves up when we and I don't want y'all to think I'm fake or anything. I turn into the hood Mona Lisa. Okay, I dress like Olivia Pope, and I don't know half of y'all. I don't know half of y'all. Okay, curse? Who cursed? I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, we kind of brush it up and clean it up when we are boots on the ground and we go out and cover the trial. I try to bring as much fact as I can through the lens of a Gemini, okay? Through the lens of moi, yours truly, all right? The hood Mona Lisa. Now, what I do want to say, you guys, is if I have a travel fund, if you want to help me make this happen, one of the trials is in Vegas and one of the trials is in Los Angeles. So if I go to Vegas, you know, I will need a hotel stay maybe or an Airbnb. All right. I don't know if I'm going to need a rent-a-car or not. Sometimes these cases can go for 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Sometimes they can be as little as 2. So I'm aiming for 21 to 30 days. 21 to 30 days. Right? Because that Tupac one, I don't know. I don't know. You just never know. Okay. So either it's Ubering or a rent-a-car. I don't think I need a rent-a-car for 4 weeks though, but you know. I would try to stay as near the courthouse as possible, but I would have to make it back and forth to the courthouse, right? And for the LA trial, I will need parking, okay? Lunch and coffee funds. So if you want to help, you guys want to assist out, you know, you guys want to support my platform, everything will be going towards that, okay? Bologna goes to trial fund. Now, if you didn't know, I will be in college for spring semester as well. So that is from February, I think, until June. I will be adding value to myself, and I encourage you to do the same. I'll be learning new skills and investing those skills into what I do, okay? So I can have a more lucrative position and make more money. You know, ultimately, I'm here to step into my abundance, help you step into your abundance, and build generational wealth, okay? You know, build on what you guys already have, which will earn me more money and allow me to flourish and build generational wealth, because ultimately that's what it's about, right? This is my let me upgrade you era. And I encourage you as well to join me. So I don't want you to just watch me. I want you to join me because we all have it in us to better ourselves, okay? Let me show you a little bit about what I do. And you guys just go ahead and take a look at this clip, all right? This does not include, I don't think, the ASAP Rocky, but I'll make one for that too as well, just to give you the idea of what I do and what I deliver, okay?
Y'all, what's up? Good morning, y'all. This is Lisa Bonet, the Hood Mona Lisa, your #1 YouTuber, and I am on the scene. We are here at the Tory Lanez hearing. Now, this is not a retrial or anything like that. This is simply a hearing. It's not simply anything because his life is on the line. I am live on YouTube, okay? I mean, I'm live on Instagram, y'all. I didn't make it inside the courtroom. Most definitely, this is Bonet Media, and I am here for the Lituation Media. Uh-oh, sorry about that. This is Lituation Media. And where y'all going? Excuse me, sir. Is the criminal courts building? That big one right there. That big one? I can go in, thank you. All right, y'all. Girl, let me make it across the street before I get hit trying to be on fucking Instagram. It's your favorite hood girl or lady. I don't give a damn. But I am the Hood Mona Lisa, and I am on my way to the Tory Lanez trial. Okay, what's up, y'all? I got some bad news. I got some bad news for y'all.
Maybe. Probably. That's not very reassuring. Listen, I gave you a darn chicken bone, didn't I? Yeah. The rest is up to you. Your journey hasn't ended. Go to the last mountain.
So you got to see a little bit of me with boots on the ground. You got to see a little bit of me in theater, in a play. So this is just part of what I do, you guys. I can't wait to get to these trials and give you guys what you came for, all right? And doing what I love to do. Like I said, you guys can follow me on my new channel. And my new channel, I'm waiting. I need 100 followers, you guys. Let me see. Let me go ahead and pull this up. Hold on, y'all. So you guys can see this as well. You guys go ahead and follow me over on my new channel. It's called Pretty Like Money. And I definitely cover everything that's on the social media streets, of course, right? Social media buzz, culture, media, and true crime, all right? Culture, media, and true crime. Now, let me go ahead and bring this up so you guys can see this. This is my new channel, guys. And it's called Pretty Like Money. Let me bring it up. Hold on. Oh, hold on. I got to remove this. All right. And this is like my self-help channel, you guys. This is self-made lifestyle and manifestation. So self-made lifestyle and manifest, okay? Oh, you love true crime cases too, okay? If Keefe D get found guilty of the Tupac red rum, it gonna be pretty rough in prison for him. Yes. R.I.P. Tupac, Illuminati, all through your body, like a 12-gauge shotty. Feel me? Right? Catching your flow through the lens of a full-blooded Scorpio. Shout out, okay? It's just a Gemini spilling tea. All right? This is all going to come from the mind of a Gemini, you guys. All right? There and subscribe, Bonet, so cool. I caught another live this AM. I'm so happy, Amy, that you guys did too. So you guys, I think this clip, I don't know if you guys can click that. Pretty Like Money. Let me tell you a little bit, y'all. Now, my lifestyle includes fashion, shabby chic, grown and sexy, a little ghetto fab. I am basically investing in myself while living in God's grace, exercising my faith on the road to riches. Okay. And I encourage you to do it too. I encourage you to do it with me. Follow me. Now, don't just watch me. We can do this, you guys. All right. Unless you just want to watch me. That's what I'm here for. Okay. But I would love for you guys to join me. And hold on, y'all. All right. Now, just a little bit about this. Pretty Like Money is a self-help channel to becoming her, the bold, confident, leveled up version of myself. Let's step into our power, breaking old habits and inspiring each other to be the best person we can be. This is your space to grow, glow, and unapologetically own your next chapter. All right. Now, I'm also going to expose you guys to the methods of digital media by sharing virtual skills and manifestation. All right. Now, you guys know I also have the Digital Boss viral course bundle that I've been using on my road to abundance and generational wealth. Everything we do starts with the mindset. I just want to let you guys know. All right. So, if you're into self-growth, abundance, let's connect, support, and grow. All right. I want you guys to join my channel on the road to self-empowerment and becoming an online digital boss. Y'all come with me. All right. We serve talk therapy with a no narcs policy. All right. And yeah, you guys, live event speaking engagements. You guys can email me at blownatv@gmail.com if you'd like to schedule a one-on-one session. But before we get started, I need 100 followers. Okay. And then I will bring the content and then we can get it started. Okay. All right. Now, like I said, if you'd like to contribute to the platform, it is Cash App, Blownate LA. And thanks for your support. Okay, guys. Just wanted to make sure I put that out there for you. I will be back on the next video. If you don't promote yourself, who the fuck will? Okay. All right, you guys. I will see you. Thank you guys for subscribing. Both my mama and daddy Geminis, y'all make us put in that work for real, for real. Thank you. That's what I'm talking about. All right. I'll see you guys later. Thank you guys so much. Until next time, America.
Good morning.